Ross, Zach Clark returning must be a big
Yeah, hey, big wrist.
Boost.
Boost. In what way? Like,
well, for your ruck stocks and the fact that you have
it hasn't hurt to have him available. So, look, he's done an enormous amount of training. We know he's a gifted runner, so he's down on match conditioning, but we're hopeful, not hopeful. The aim is he holds his end up, and we just really replaced the structure with what we had. So.
Of course, you said he was a little unlikely after the game.
Yeah.
What changed over the last few days?
Oh, look, you just work your way through it. He did train really well Saturday, and I think if the opposition had a structure like Collingwood did with the two talls forward, but we know traditionally they have a resting ruckman, Reid and Goods, and so they've always got the two talls pretty much there, bar little periods with Goods, and we just thought, you know what, we'll stick to our structure, and if it doesn't work, we can always sub him out and bring on a runner. So we've decided to go that way after consultation with our leaders and our match committee, and hopefully, you know, hindsight will prove us correct.
Have you got a certain amount of game time in mind for him?
Yeah, we know he can handle, you know, up around 90%, so that would be the aim.
Getting that 5 back must be great as well, especially his record at the SCG.
Oh, well, look, you know, the philosophy of the past counts for nothing, and but certainly on paper it looks good, but paper doesn't talk, you know, actions talk, and Nathan really needs to deliver in his role.
Has Brett Kirk added any special advice this week?
Yeah, put it through the sticks. Look, you know, we get the connection. Mark Stone's been there, and Brett's been there, but things change. Sort of, Brett had a year in the media, and at the end of the day, he's been adding to us consistently throughout the year, as Mark has and Peter. So, you know, they work really hard. I don't think it's not about tricks. It's about basics and tackling and pressure, and you know, Brett's brought added to the dynamic of the group as opposed to the fact that he was in Sydney.
Are you a believer in 8-point games, Ross, with them sitting 5th and you 6th?
Yeah, oh, look, you like to beat teams around you, and really specifically, we understand it's an enormous challenge. The reigning premier in Sydney, their losses have been to the Cats and Hawthorn, are basically undefeated and lost one. So their form's really strong. You know, they're fit, they're available. They won't like 2 losses in a row. They beat us there last year. So it's a big challenge, one we want to accept and respond to, but we're under no illusions how difficult it's going to be, and we can't have a lapse like last week, the second and third quarter, so we're looking for a 4-quarter effort. You know, we know they start really strong up there, so yeah, I'm a bit nervous about it, understand that, and excited at the same time. It's a big challenge, and we want to keep testing ourselves and growing.
They're always important, but a clearance is any more important at the SCG given the high 50s?
Well, I think specifically they're a great clearance team and a high-scoring clearance team. So, you know, you need to get your hands on them and move the ball forward. And you know, it's a ground that if you get it and you move quickly and you go for the corridor, you're going to score. So we need to get our hands on it first.
Jude Bolton said they were soft against Hawthorn last week. What did you think of their...
Jude's not playing that card again, is he? Yeah, they've been a ferocious team for a long time. So we can only control ourselves, but we expect we're under no illusions here. We expect a really fierce battle, and both of us are high contested ball teams, pride ourselves on our work without the ball, and so therefore, you know, it's going to be a fierce contest, I would imagine.
Just back on Zach Clark, obviously he's shown good glimpses in the past, but is this his real opportunity now to show consistency and really take that lead ruck role?
Oh, look, it's an opportunity. You know, there's no doubt it's an opportunity, and as it is an opportunity for the team to grow. So it's not all going to happen in one game for Zach. We just want him to compete and give really good effort. You know.
And you said in the race last week, you said it's your time to stand up now. What was
Did I?
That's what you said post-match.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. What was his response when you said that?
Yeah, like any player, he'll relish the opportunity. And if you don't relish that opportunity, you're in the wrong business. So, you know, there's some pressure to perform, but it is on the whole club, you know, to keep performing. We understand that. When you don't win, these are different conversations you're having with me now. So we get that as a club.
Ross, just one outside of footy. Were you surprised by the amount of positive drug tests that have come out?
Look, I did read it. You know, I think if you look in percentage terms, it's a significant increase. And like Andrew Demetrio, I mean, there's some disappointment there. But I think, you know, there's 800 players in the AFL. It's gone from 20 to 26 with a positive test. So what that tells me is there's 26 players that need some help, you know, in getting hold of their lives a little bit and trying to stay on a path that's really healthy. And, you know, they've had some slips, so fortunately the tests identify that people need some help, and that's the aim of the policy, to identify those that need help, rehabilitate, and there are some tightening of the loopholes. So I think it's only going to become a better policy, and we want AFL players to be, you know, mentally healthy, and so hopefully this policy can help with that.
I haven't seen Mazunga. He's about the only one.
Tendai will be here, yeah, Tendai's. Isn't he here yet?
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he should be here, yeah.
How many are you taking?
25. No, are we? No, 22, 23, yeah.
Another
23.
obvious question, Ross, but we have to ask the bump situation. Do you have a take on what you've seen so far?
Yeah, look, I think the Lindsay Thomas confused it all, but I think the MRP's tightened that up. You know, my understanding is if you elect a bump and if you have an opportunity to go for the ball and you elect a bump and you hit the player in the head or injure the player, well, you suffer the consequences. So I think it's pretty simple. I think there's been a beat up on the other stuff. I don't say there's much confusion at all, to be honest. And let's protect the ball carriers. It's a really healthy situation. It's a bit like the umpires week, you know. We want to encourage the youth to play the game. So if the head's sacrosanct, then you can encourage ball players. I think the young people and, you know, the young kids will continue to play and come through. And it's a bit like the umpires. You know, umpires, we need 18,000 around the country per week. We only got 11,000 officials. So if we don't protect the umpires and nurture them and everyone just lay off them a little bit, I think we're making too much of umpiring decisions. Let's focus on, umpires don't win and lose games. You know? Football players and coaches win and lose games, not umpires. So it's a bit like the bump. Let's encourage, you know, the right behaviours in our young players, and our attitude toward the umpires as well. It'd be nice from everyone in the AFL.
Ross, your first quarter last week was probably the best pressure you guys have played with for a lot of the year. Is that getting closer to sort of your best of last year?
Oh, look, I think we've got short-term memories, you know. I think it was a pretty good quarter, but it was more we won the ball and moved it really quick. I think we only made 11 tackles, so it wasn't a lot. We won it really well and moved the ball quickly, so we've been working on that. Yeah, but we've had some good footy this year, but some really bad quarters as well. So we're aiming for consistency across the board.
So are you happy at times to wear, when the other teams come in, just wear that for a quarter or two?
Not really. We'd like to get our hands on the ball around the clearance, and that's what happened. I think we've got 26 there. By any measure, it's really poor. And so no, we don't like to wear it. We hope we can stand up, but you know, the damn wall will burst at some point. You've got to win the ball and go your way, and that's what we did in the last quarter. But we're focusing on the Swans this week. Last week's irrelevant, really.
And is Michael Walters likely to get any more midfield time this week?
Yeah, that might be the aim. Look, we need him forward, but yeah, we like to bleed him through there. I think his ultimate destination is midfield, but at the moment we need him forward a fair bit.